And people are saying, well, she was a role model because it was a black woman in space. But during Star Trek, I was a very young boy, and I had the biggest crush on her. Oh my goodness, man!
Something, Coach, something told me.
Man, I had
I
to take a,
was like, Farajii
I had to,
asked
I had to
about
take a,
Nichelle because
I
he's
had
gonna
to
give
take
you a story. He gonna break it
I,
down for you.
I had to take a cold shower after every episode, man. She was so hot, man. What was she so hot that what Doctor Spock had a romantic moment with her, correct?
We know Captain Kirk did.
Oh, you're right, right. That's what it was, Kirk.
Yeah, we know Captain Kirk did.
And I ain't mad at her. But no, just because see, I grew up in the era where see, I'm big on imaging, Faraji.
Yeah, I
I
know.
think imaging is so important where other folks don't put as much emphasis. You know, for us Christians, I get angry every time when I see Christ depicted as a European. And
Mm,
then people will say, well, that's not important. Well, if it wasn't important, why did they change the narrative?
mm,
Okay. And where I'm going with this is that we didn't have a whole bunch of positive images as it pertains to blacks. Thank God we had the Afro, we had Ebony, we had Jet, but we were brainwashed in terms of if you were a product of the 50s and early 60s, that beauty was blonde hair, blue eyes. And don't get me wrong, you know, you can have blonde hair and blue eyes and be beautiful, but that's not, you know what?
that's
That's
not the
that's
standard.
that's not the standard. And when we had a chance to see her and to see a Diane Carroll on television,
Woo!
that was beauty, man. That was
Yeah,
beauty and
I can see that.
beauty in class. So, you know, I keep it real. Folks want to talk about the historic part, which is great, of seeing a black woman in space, etc. But man, I was just looking at, she was hot. And for a young boy, probably about 10, 12, 13 years old, oh man, she was hotter than a $5 Rolex.
Okay. All right. Hey, Coach, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you so much. Coach Butcher McAllis, folks, checking in with us. We always have Coach on just to kind of give us some historical perspective on some of these topics. And it's always glad to talk to my big brother. Again, Coach, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Always a pleasure, Faraji. Thank you.
All right, folks, let's bring back our culture crew. B Fly, Jules P. Man, man. Yo, yo, first day, you have to drink some wine. You are so funny right now, B. You are so funny right now. That's crazy. That's crazy. Hey, look, real quick, I want to get y'all take on that. Bill Russell, Nichelle Nichols. Jules, what's your take on the two legends in sports and TV passed away in one day? Powerful meaning there. I think there's something there. I can't figure it out just yet, but that's a powerful thing. Two stars.
I'm gonna start with Michelle. One, I agree with Coach. She was fine. So I didn't really like Star Trek, but I seen her and I was like, yeah, she like that. So that's what, because you know when you growing up, just remember I grew up in born in the late '80s, raised in the '90s. You have regular TV, so Star Trek came on UPN 24. So that's all you watched at nighttime. So it was like Star Trek was on, you just watch Star Trek. So she was the reason I watched Star Trek. So that's my adamant thing I have to relate to her. As far as Bill Russell, it's so much that I'm a sports head, so I'm not going to dominate the time talking about all the sports, all the stuff, whatever. I just want to share the funniest story I heard because I love funny stories about our greats. Like I'm a very funny, joking person, so sometimes I don't really care about your mark on history. I want to know the funny stuff that would made your personality love people for you to make your mark on history.
Right.
So Kenny, the Jet Smith, of course, former Houston Rocket point guard. former Sacramento Kings point guard on NBA TV for Shaq, Ernie, and Charles right now. He shares the funniest story about when Bill Russell was the coach of the Sacramento Kings, and they were a bad team. They were a really, really bad team. And after the game, had to get on the bus to get to the plane to get to the next city, whatever. So Kenny goes, Kenny's a young player, I think rookie or second year. He gets on the bus. As a young people, we want to go chill in the back with the players. And as he got on the bus, Bill Russell sat in the front. So he snatched them and had him sit beside me. And Kenny was like, well, coach, like, I'm going to sit back there with them. Like, why you got to sit beside me? And Bill Russell looked at me and said, because he's a loser, he's a loser, he's a loser, he's a loser, and I want you to be great like me. Like, I think that's the story I've ever heard somebody say. Because it's like, again, we're talking about Bill Russell, 11-time champion. So he don't want you to sit with them bums in the back. If you want to be great, you better sit by me and learn a thing or two. And Kenny Smith did eventually go on to win 2 NBA championships.
Hey, Jules, that's called upward mobility.
Friendship bias. There we go.
Hey, if you want to win, you better hang out with winners, man.
Right there beside me.
Right. AB Fly, Nichelle Nichols.
Yeah, I'm grateful for life that can transition in an elderly age, and that where we have enough in a lot of the work and their legacy to be left, so we can now go through the archives and create our own memorials and weave them into like the stories of our own art. And it's a beautiful thing, and so it's interesting because the elders, the Black elders always said, like death happens in threes. And so so for the news to come of these two at the same time, it made me wonder, like, all right, where's the next, and so, but this in these situations, it's I would consider these good deaths. It's a good death when you're able to exhaust your physical form out pushing 100 years old. That's a really good, it's a good death. That's a good life, Absolutely. And so I'm grateful for the work of Afrofuturism. And so it allows me to get to know her in a real-time way as a catalyst of shape-shifting and time travel, because white people don't own time travel, and this is real. And in media, we often forget that, and so images like of Mama Nichols, allows us to be able to see ourselves into the future in fantastical Black ass ways, and so so her legacy is real, and her beauty is real, and Bill Russell is real, and I'm sure their work will live on with us forever.
Always. Bill Russell, Nichelle Nichols, we truly love and appreciate you, and may God, preserve you, your legacy, and rest in power. All right, folks. Final few moments of today's show. 6 months later, we started this journey with the intent to try to have a digital show that is fresh, that is different, that when things happen on air, we would just say, all right, cool, that's the way it is. There's a certain edginess, there's a certain authenticity that's here with the culture. So 6 months later, we are still rocking and rolling for Black Star Network. So I just want to thank each and every one of you, all of my culture crew. Oh my gosh, they've been riding with me from the beginning. B has been riding with me. Jules, you came on a little bit later and you just fell right in, bro. But B has been riding with us, and it's been a phenomenal ride for these past 6 months today, folks. 6 months today. We started on February the 1st. Is now August 1st. We've had a number of conversations from everybody from mayors to entertainers to to health officials and the list continues to grow. And so we want to just say thank you to all of the culture crew online, all of you who check in each and every day, are part of these conversations. We wanted to make this engaging. We wanted to make this interactive. We wanted to make this fresh. So, you know, you're going to get a different vibe from us than you would get from any other Black Star Network show. It's just a different situation. And guess what? We're still evolving. We're still changing. We're still going to be pushing the envelope. But the representation that you get here on The Culture is unlike any other. And that was important to me as senior producer and host. And that continues to be my mission is we got to get the voices that are not heard, and we got to have the conversations that are not being said. So I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for being a part of this great journey, 6 months into this history-making endeavor. B, you want to say something? Then Jules, y'all want to say something?
Oh, I got something to say.
Okay.
You know, thank you. I'm just going to say thank you, you know, for spicing up Mondays.
Nope.
You know, like I activate Mondays in a whole different way now, which definitely like makes my
love
week
Mondays, man.
exciting. And Mondays are so
man.
dope.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, and so this is great. You know, the overall community is wonderful. The listeners are great. You know, the other hosts are amazing, and so you know, Farajii, at the end of the day, we're here for you. You know, so you know,
Hey, look, let me tell you, I think,
keep doing the thing.
And let me just say, I feel like I have been blessed to put together the most dynamic team on any digital space. You guys have said something. You guys have said something that like unlike any other team. So you make this show great. All right, Jules, you got 30 seconds. What you want to say, bro?
I don't even need that long. First of all, what took you so damn long? I've known you for 20 years. You've been the culture, brother. I'm not sentimental or emotional about this. Bro, you've been the culture. The show is for 6 months. You've been the culture for the 20 years I know you. I ain't trying, man. You've been the culture. It just took me to get the Black Star Network and, you know, YouTube and Facebook. I got you. I get it. I get the business part. I get God's timing. I understand. No, you've been the culture. I ain't trying to hit under this sentimental stuff, man. 6 years, look, 6 decades, man. I ain't trying to
yo, real talk. I've known Jules since he was like 14.
20 years in the game.
I've known this brother since he was 14, y'all. Like, real. So, you know what I'm saying? And this man is solid. And, you know, when I was like, oh, we need more voices, I was like, damn, Farajii, why ain't never asked your man Jules? Who always got something to say, who's always insightful, very, very, I mean, just an intelligent young brother. And I was like, he's perfect. He's perfect. And I know with putting him on with B, she gonna school him a couple of times about some stuff. And that's what it is. So I mean, but see, let me tell you something. Again, this is as we wrap up. The beauty is having great people. And when y'all gotta know that this is like these are people that I actually talk to, people I actually share with, people that have known me for years. The beauty, and this is big shout out to Joel and Shannon, my producers. The beauty is making sure that we create a community, like you said, B, making sure we create a community where people understand how serious we are about this culture, and to highlight that the next generation or those who have been around, there is some new thought coming. There's a different consciousness emerging in this. So we're not stuffy. I just love the creativity, the creative space. Big shout out to Roland, brother Roland, for giving us the space. We can curse on this piece. You know what I'm saying? Be drinking wine on it in the middle of the day. Like, come on, man. Come on.
I'm saying all we need for him to do now is unblock me from Twitter. Okay. Yeah. Come through, Mr. Martin. All right. It's been 6 months. It's been years of this Twitter block. I'm saying, you know, the account is the real B
Front
Fly.
rolling will block your ass. He will block your ass.
I know this.
You ain't know nothing about Rolling Martin. He will block your ass, man. Seriously. He don't make no cut cards. Block, delete. Your ass is done. That's it. That's how he roll. You be like, yo, can I be your friend? He'd be like, nah, because remember 4 years ago, you know, he got a memory like an elephant. You know what I mean? Like, nah, dog, was like 5 years ago you said that shit. Nah, bro. Nah. Look who's talking now. Block.
It's real, you know? So, you know, thank you, Farajii, for sliding me through the back.
You had a bad day, Roland. You just have a bad day.
You got into the back door.
Right. All right, y'all. I appreciate and love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being so good for the culture. We appreciate it. Jules P, B Fly. Check them out on social media. There it is. All right, folks, that's going to do it for me. I appreciate each and every one of you for being a part of the conversation. Make sure y'all continue to support Black Star Network wherever you find us. BlackStarNetwork.com is the website. Support Black Star Network. And, of course, continue to show your love by sharing the content and letting people know that this Black-owned media institution is here to stay, and we need your support financially and just through your support by word of mouth. So make sure you go to Black Star Network, download the app for free on all your devices, and make sure you make history with us. That's going to do it for me. I appreciate each and every one of you. As always, never be afraid to challenge what's wrong. Stand for what's right while being yourself in the process. God willing, we'll talk tomorrow for another exciting edition of The Culture right here on the Black Star Network. Peace. Have a